what Mr. Kejriwal had said, that we are not talking about, we are not disregarding the capabilities of final year students, and our only disagreement was to the point where it says all medical students, that what the agenda says. So if we are going with what Mr. Patnaik has said, I think we are on a common ground. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Shashi Tharoor, your comment, please.
On the major part, I agreed with the delegate when she just said that recruiting fourth year students and the final year and the ones in the middle of the internship, we are ready to do that. But the whole concern lies that if they don't want them at the front lines and just to do the paperwork, then why is there need to recruit medical students also? Thank you.
Okay,
Can I
delegate. We
reply
got
now?
that. Just one more comment. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, your comment, please.
Okay. I think as Mr. Naveen Patnaik has stated that we have we need a larger workforce. So considering unemployed doctors plus training fourth year medical students, considering they have already all the required clinical exposure and practical skill, I think we can definitely find some common ground. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, delegate. Now Mr. Patnaik, you may reply to all of the comments.
All right, I really appreciate the support that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and Ms. Mamta Banerjee and Rahul Gandhi has shown me. I would like to clarify my stance. My stance from the day that we started this agenda has been to recruit fourth year students, which is what we have done in our state as well. Despite recruiting Ayush workers, Asha health workers, and even midwives and other healthcare personnel, we have still fallen short and felt the need to recruit 500 medical students from final year to join our workforce as a standby in case we need the manpower. So I have always been in favor of recruiting people with skills and the required eligibility criteria, as opposed to anybody just so that we have the bulk of manpower. Second, as I'm sorry, I forgot who the third who the
Shashi Tharoor.
third person was.
Mr.
Yes,
Shashi
the
Tharoor.
third person, they raised some concerns regarding why paperwork is necessary. I am sorry, but paperwork is necessary to document. There is no way that we will be able to keep track of our patients, cured, recovered, uh, patients that we have lost, if we do not perform the necessary paperwork. While that is necessary, it is also time consuming and taxing, which is why giving that responsibility to people who have skills in the medical field but not skills that are good enough to actually perform tasks that are life saving or life threatening will, I think, be fruitful and a good utilization of resources.
Can I reply to her?
No, delegate, you'll have to do that check. Moving on from that, the next speaker on the list is Ms. Priyanka Gandhi.
Am I audible?
Yes, delegate, you are.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say that a BJP minister, Shripad Nayak, said that anybody who is any doctor prescribing non-Ayurvedic medicines are anti-nationals. So on this, I am with the BJP here that for an alternative, I would like to propose that the Ayurvedic doctors should be brought in. Now the question is, how do we actually bring them in, right? So how do I do that is by putting up ads on every online platform possible. So they would be and we can allure them with incentives, such as like we can give 50 lakh packages for if in case any Ayurvedic doctor who's working on the front line dies due to COVID-19. We'd provide them with a free stay as well as food and a good pay for the time they're working. We can provide them facilities. A lot of people would have questions for where they would actually have the facility for staying in. We can turn small motels which are already out of business into quarantine facilities, and we can fumigate that. The government can fumigate that and sanitize it completely for safe quarantine facilities for these doctors who are going to work on the front line. Then a lot of people will have a question about where the money is going to come from. So I would just like to state that the government of this Prime Minister Narendra Modi has so far spent 4,343 crores on advertisements and publicities through different medias, and this is a status according to the according to an RTI. So then we can raise money from crowdfunding platforms like Millap, on which we can run an online campaign, and then we can raise money for that. And definitely it would be mostly voluntary, but we are alluring the Ayurvedic doctors into it, and hence we are bringing in the workforce. And then we can take out the money from the PM relief fund, we can take out money from the state disaster relief funds, we can take out money from the chief minister relief fund. I don't think that after all of this we'll fall short of money, and this is a disaster in which we require that much amount of money. And then the last question here comes is, how are we going to train them? So we're going to train them for putting up ventilators and for giving IV lines, and for also giving all the other medications like hydroxychloroquine. For that, we will have anesthetists, and medical officers for the same. And hence, that's how we're going to. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Would you like to yield to comments or the EB or questions?
I would like to yield to comments.
Any comments on us, please? CM Vijay Rupani followed by. Most videos are off. I can't figure out if anybody else wants to. CM Vijay Rupani followed by K. Chandrasekhar Rao.
Delegates, please turn your videos on.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Delegate, you are.
हाँ, तो जैसे प्रियंका गांधी ने कहा कि हमें पैकेजेस निकालने चाहिए 50 लाख का, तो मैं हमारी गवर्नमेंट ने अंडर द प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण योजना में डॉक्टर्स के लिए 50 लाख रुपए का एक इंश्योरेंस निकाला है कि खुदा ना खास्ता उन्हें अगर कुछ हो जाता है तो फिर उनको दिक्कत ना आए। और जो प्रियंका गांधी ने कहा कि जितने भी मोटाइल्स हैं उनको सैनिटाइज करना चाहिए, तो फिर मैं उनको बताना चाहूंगा कि जितने भी अभी डॉक्टर्स हैं जो अपनी ड्यूटीज कर रहे हैं उनके 14 दिन का क्वारंटाइन करा गया है, और सिटीज लाइक लखनऊ और दिल्ली में जितने भी 5 स्टार्स हैं उनको हायर करा गया है, उनको पैसे दिए हैं गवर्नमेंट ने टू चेंज इनटू द कोविड बेड्स। और जितने भी उन्होंने बात करी कि वेंटिलेटर्स की बात करी, तो जो पीएम केयर्स फंड जिसपे पैसे डोनेट करे हैं लोगों ने, उसपे से 3100 करोड़ रुपए के वेंटिलेटर्स अभी तक खरीदे जा चुके हैं, और आगे भी जो उसमें, और फिर जो 20 लाख करोड़ रुपए का मोदी सरकार ने फंड निकाला है उसमें से 15,000 करोड़ रुपए हेल्थ केयर में लगाए जा चुके हैं टू इंक्रीज द प्रोफेशनल मैन पावर। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Delegate. Would you yield to comments or sorry, your comment was well noted. Mr. K.C. Rao.
Yeah. I think most of it was covered by CM Vijay Rupani. But I would also again like to point the practice of converting motels as quarantine centers is already there in place. So they are already getting good facilities, the doctors especially. Regarding advertisements that you said that the government has spent a lot of money, the thing is they're not spending it over their own political parties or anything. It's their funds if they're spending it, but the government funds that were allocated for advertisement was the need of the hour. COVID has symptoms which are rapidly changing. The people in the world need to know what they're going to face, how the advertisement plays a very important role in that aspect. And regarding the suggestion to pull out money from the state disaster relief fund and other national relief funds, I think that cannot be done. As it said that it is an emergency fund, and we never know. We had a big cyclone there in Kolkata, West Bengal, Orissa side. Then we've got so many other disasters. We've got earthquakes now and then. So this is something which cannot be touched right now. until we have a big crisis waiting for us. And before that, we can still use our gold reserves and other options that are available to us. Thank you.
Okay,
Do I
Delegate.
have
Thank
the
you. That's been
right
noted. Yes, Delegate, you do.
Actually, I totally agree with CM Vijay Rupani and KC Rao. I definitely agree with that. All I was trying to say is that if the government feels the need that they're out of money, as they keep stating, that is why I said that these could be these could be alternatives to taking out money for the need of the hour. And I also suggested that crowdfunding platforms should be started, like Milap and everything. So I definitely agree with you. And for small motels, I again agree with what you're saying, that they have been turned into quarantine facilities. I'm only saying that if there is a need for more facilities like that, then we can go for that as an alternative. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Delegate. Thank you. So it's been noted. Are there any motions on the floor? By show of hands, are there any motions on the floor? I think it is.
I think Mr. Rahul Gandhi had a motion to raise.
Yes, Mr. Rahul. That's what Mr. Rahul Gandhi is absent. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, is there a motion?
No, there has been a mistake. Sorry, I don't have a motion.
Okay, thank you. In that case, we'll move on with the speakers list. The next speaker on the the next speaker on the list is Ms. Mamta Banerjee. Please go on.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Done.
Yes, so I would like to suggest that the committee comes to a common conclusion, like we previously discussed, where we are going to include not all students, but just final year students and the students who are in their internships right now. Also, I agree with the points put up by fellow delegate Ms. Priyanka Gandhi about the funding, and would be
I think the delegate is facing some connectivity issues.
hello, can you hear me?
Yes, but your voice is breaking. Yes, but please go on.
Do I need to repeat myself?
Actually, we'll
Was
come
I
back
not
to you later.
audible previously?
Yeah, I think we've noted most of it, so I think we can go on. Would you want comments or questions?
Comments, please.
The delegate is 0 to comments. Anybody who would like to comment? Okay, finding none, we'll move on to the next speaker, Mr. Yogi Adityanath.
Greetings, Honorable Chair and my fellow delegates. So, talking about the resolution, the government, the delegate representing Yogi Adityanath would agree with my fellow delegates who have spoken previously, that we only want to implement students of the final year, who are, and also students who've taken up the internship and will be doctors in the span of 3 to 4 months. However, I would like to propose an assessment program, even though the program that would recruit the students would be voluntary, but there should be an assessment that must be done on who to take into account, not blatantly taking anyone who's coming in. This would help us to recognize people who have a better skill and better training and better knowledge to deal with the crisis. Second thing is that there should be a panel of at least 5 senior doctors that assesses the youngsters when they are providing healthcare, also with a log mechanism that will also maintain a check balance, because they would have to be accountable of what kind of healthcare they've given, under what judgment they've given, on what basis they've given. So this will minimize the error. And and third thing is that I also want to propose making makeshift hospitals as they have done in foreign countries such as Italy and Wuhan, which has been a success, and they're also doing it in Delhi currently with about 10,000 beds. In government monuments, hospitals and government monuments, schools and stadiums that are lying vacant now. We could make a good use of them, and it would also be a booster to the Atmanirbhar Yojana, because we could also employ the DMLT students that Mr. Farooq Abdullah had suggested as nurses and ward boys, because it would give them a wage, it would give them a job, and also it would lessen the burden on the government and private sector hospitals that they're currently facing towards chronically ill patients of cancer, patients of dialysis, elderly patients that are not being admitted. And also, I would like to, urge the central government to pass down, implement more of home quarantine rather than admitting every single patient who test positive for corona, because there's stages to the, COVID morbidity. So, and giving only, special critical care to those who reach across the second and third level, because the virus affects about 85% of people and they don't even show the symptoms. That's all. I rest my case. Thank you. And I yield to comments.
Thank you, Delegate. Any comments on that speech? Yes, I find one comment. And any other comments? Miss Priyanka Gandhi,
Um,
followed by wait, let me recognize the Miss Priyanka Gandhi, followed by okay, Miss Priyanka Gandhi, you can go on with the comment.
So, Mr. Yogi Adityanath stated that only fourth-year students would be recruited in the same. Wouldn't that be contradicting the entire agenda, which clearly states all medical students? And if that actually happens, then we can actually come to a resolution on passing a bill with that. It could be a negotiation for that. The Congress and the BJP could have a negotiation if they're saying that only fourth-year medical students should be put onto the front line, because that in no case would actually complete the number of work professionals that we require. But then if that is one of the agendas that they have, and that is their only agenda, that fourth-year students should be brought into the workforce, then definitely we can work out a negotiation for that. That's my only comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Priyanka Gandhi. Dr. Harshvardhan, your comment, please.
Yeah, I would like to say that I do agree with most of her speech, and I do think that the final year students that would be taken under consideration should be under supervision if they're providing any healthcare to the patients, because they do not have their license as of yet, and they should be under strict supervision. That's all.
Okay, Delegate. Mr. Yogi Adityanath, would you like to reply to any of the comments?
I'm thankful to both delegates, Ms. Gandhi and Dr. Harshvardhan, and I agree with what they've said. And seeing that it's a time of crisis, I would suggest that rather than arguing amongst ourselves, we sort of come collectively to a common agenda, because we're not here to play politics, we're here to resolve the issue. So that's.
Thank you, delegates. Before we move on to the next speaker, I think we'll break off for lunch after this speaker, but I would advise all of you to keep in mind the fact that yes, we have 2 more sessions left in the day. Within these 2 more sessions, you may be faced with another crisis. You do not know how the committee is to go on forward. But what I would suggest is, now that all of us have a lot of things very, very clear in our heads, which is that one, the fact that the problem has been clearly highlighted. We know what the issue is exactly. We are faced with how even doctors are troubled, because the way the director of AIIMS came yesterday and she informed us. We know how badly the doctors are under stress. We know the medical facilities and how they're under stress, and how as much as transport is being affected, as in most industries in current times are under stress. So, recognizing the same, yes, all of the debate that has been happening today, I am very glad that there is a lot more participation than yesterday, and there is equivocal participation from almost all of the delegates, which is a very, very positive thing. A lot of delegates, Ms. Naveen Patnaik, Dr. Tharoor, Rahul Gandhi, Ms. Priyanka Gandhi, they've all, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Farooq Abdullah, if I miss names, I'm sorry, but they've all put very, very valid points to the table. And we now have a working idea as to what we want to do with the issue, a very realistic idea as to where we want all of the three issues, as in the funding part, the alternatives part, and the medical students that we want to focus on. All of it has been basically discussed on at length. Now, what I expect of the committee post lunch is either you go into a moderated caucus or something like that, suggesting as to next steps, which will literally make help us into making a resolution which is watertight. Now, yesterday's resolution, as I told you, was I didn't go into any sort of intricacies. I ignored all factual fallacies or fallacies even related to written documentation. I ignored all of it. But this time, the resolution that comes in, you'll have almost one whole session to frame the resolution. You'll have moderate caucuses over the resolution. Once this resolution is introduced, you'll get the chance to debate upon the resolution. As in, once the resolution comes in, you'll have the opportunity to request the chair for a 2-for-2 against or a 3-for-3 against on the resolution. So if there can be people who support the resolution, oppose the resolution, and you can discuss it accordingly. But this time, this final resolution needs to be watertight. So before that, if there is any moderate caucus that you need to discuss the cause or the variability of any of the sub issues that lie in the way of the resolution, even if you're expecting anything from the next session of the committee, it will be towards a resolution. Right now we want to move towards a resolution, because the final resolution will have a proper vote, will have a proper discussion clause by clause, which will take up almost an entire session. So the next session, you must focus on grabbing all of your points together in terms of the fact that each person, as I told you, I took a lot of names, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal also, Mr. Ovaisi also, everybody. I mean, today the participation has been phenomenal, and thus all of you have very, very strong points. Now you need to make each of your points watertight and then lobby amongst yourselves to collate them and come to a respective, if you want one resolution, that works with me. If you want two resolutions like yesterday, that's even better. You can have a better debate, and the house can be more democratic. It's completely upon yourself. I know the right wing will never agree with the left wing, even if it's a watertight thing, but that doesn't stop the working of the parliament ever. It hasn't done it yesterday, it won't do it today. So I expect that a watertight resolution be formed from both sides, if you want so, or one common resolution, however you want to see it. But all of you should now have all of your points written down in detail and must lobby about them. See, the part about yesterday, everything was perfect. The only thing that delegates were not able to do was lobby, as in in what terms, and how, in terms of the fact that you had both of the resolutions yesterday were about consolidated funds. Basically, if you look at them, they were both about consolidated funds. They meant the exact same thing, basically, except one or two very, very superficial points. If that is the case, then you should better lobby amongst, if there is no, to the base, if there is no change between both of the resolutions, then you can combine them, because that speeds up the whole process of the discussion of the resolution, and it takes us to the cause rather than just ringing around it. Okay, that's one part of it. Then right now you can also focus on sub issues that lie which haven't been discussed. For example, yes, online training everybody discussed, but we haven't as of yet. For example, the IGOT platform, which is mentioned in the background guide also. That's one of the innovations of the current government. They have actually provided a platform, and they have done the exact thing that the delegates are discussing right now. They've had retired doctors sit and train those people online who are actually on the field, like medical personnel, not non-medical personnel, as in we discussed the ASHA workers and stuff like that. They're training them to be able to support the medical staff, because along with the medical staff, you also need required support, right? And necessarily you do not need to put each and every worker on the front line. See, you can divert the workers who are already working to the front line. Qualified doctors you can divert to the front line, and you can have the others handle. For example, Mr. Ovaisi and Mr. Abdullah both raised this very sensible point that I found, that the fact that they do not necessarily need to be frontline. They can be in other sectors completely. You do not need to send them to respiratory medicine at all. send them to nephrology, send them to neurology, send them to other sectors, right? Sectors where they're not exposed to the virus at all. But the point is, अब बीमारी तो खत्म नहीं हुई हमारे देश से. कोरोना आ गया तो इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि बाकी सब कुछ खत्म हो गया है. We still have people who are suffering from heart attacks. We still have people who are suffering from neurological disorders. That is one of the biggest reasons we have not been able to divert all of our doctors. इसीलिए मैं आपको suggest करूंगा कि आप इस सब को focus करते हुए next session को और थोड़ा fruitful बनाएं. And it was a very good session. Congratulations. And we'll take one last speech before we break for lunch. So the last speaker for this session will be Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Please go
on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the prior permission of the speaker, I would like to suggest some steps that are regarding employing unemployed doctors. Obviously, government अभी क्या कर सकती है? हम लोग notification डाल सकते हैं, ठीक है, कि क्या-क्या requirements है. For example, कि हमें MBBS graduates की जरूरत है या फिर जो भी requirements है उसको हम डाल सकते हैं notification में. Also, I agree with certain facts that are suggested by Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi. He, as he stated, that we can definitely not include for the first year and the second year medical students. This has also been suggested by Mr. Naveen Patnaik, and I completely agree with both of you. And I think if we are considering just the fourth year medical students, as we understand, and as Mr. Naveen Patnaik has stated, the total number of the total number of medical workforce that is required right now, it won't be met. So we understand we need a larger workforce to deal with the crisis right now. So what my suggestion that has always been, and even now, is that we should be including the doctors who are unemployed. And this is definitely a very feasible and a very and a very important alternative, as these doctors are already trained, and they year after they won't require any extra training, or this will also solve the issue of training these students, as they'll be trained by doctors themselves. So this will be solving another issue regarding this. And I also agree with certain facts that are mentioned by Yogi Adityanath regarding making of makeshift hospitals and converting schools and stadiums. We can definitely do that, and we can put these doctors in those places to deal with the present crisis. Thank you. Yield to comments.
Thank you. Okay. Any comments on that, speaker? Asaduddin Owaisi, followed by KC Rao, and I think that'll be all. Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, you can start with the comment.
जी शुक्रिया स्पीकर साहब. मैं सर्व तरीके से इस बात से अड़ा हुआ हूँ कि हमें जो लोगों को लेके आना है फ्रंट लाइन, और जो जितने भी सॉल्यूशंस मैंने बताया इस चीज के बारे में, और मैं राहुल गांधी से इस बात पे भी सहमत हूँ कि जो अनएम्प्लॉयड है, बिल्कुल मैं मानता हूँ कि हाँ अनएम्प्लॉयड है, पर आप जो बता रहे हैं 2 लाख जो है वो शायद 2016 की बात है. अभी शायद रेशियो बढ़ गया हो, शायद रेशियो घट गया हो, तो प्लीज इस फैक्चुअल एरर को अगर आप सही कर सकते हो तो अच्छी बात है. और हालांकि अगर देखा जाए तो ऐसे कई सारे अनएम्प्लॉयड डॉक्टर्स हैं. मैं सिर्फ एमबीबीएस की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, और भी जगह भी है जहाँ पे उन लोग को जॉब्स नहीं है, जहाँ पे वो लोग कम्प्लीटली मतलब वो लोग नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. तो हाँ, इनकी ट्रेनिंग होनी चाहिए, या फिर इनकी जो जैसे कि अब देख सकते हैं कि कुछ लोग जो है एज्ड हैं या फिर जो रिटायर्ड है, उनका काम इतना कर सकते हैं कि वो ट्रेनिंग दे सकते हैं. उनको काम पे ना लगाएं, क्योंकि उनका वो ज्यादा रिस्क पे आ जाते हैं इस वायरस को लेकर. वो ट्रेनिंग पे आ सकते हैं. और बाकी जो यूथ है, जो फिर जो अभी क्या कहते हैं, जो ग्रेजुएट्स, जो अंडर ग्रेजुएट्स हैं, उनको हम क्या कर सकते हैं, उनको ट्रेनिंग दे सकते हैं. और फिर बाद में ये इधर का तो मसला सॉल्व हो गया. फंडिंग की बात मैंने आपको पहले बता दी थी. और रही बात जो मेंटल इश्यूज, कल अरविंद साहब ने बहुत अच्छी तरीके से बताया था कि हाँ आइसोलेशन और खौफ रहेगा. ठीक है, मैंने जब ओपनिंग अभी स्पीच में मैंने आपने बताया अच्छी तरीके से कि एक एचआर प्रोग्राम और एक कुछ लोगों की जरूरत पड़ेगी हमें, जो एक इंटरफेस, ऑनलाइन इंटरफेस जो है ये संभाले. तो ऐसे कई सारे साइकेट्रिस्ट हैं जिसको हम जो है मतलब ऑनलाइन कंसल्ट कर सकते हैं। इस तरह का इंटरफेस हमें बनाना है उन लोगों के लिए। और अगर आप कंटेंट बात कर रहे हैं कि ऑनलाइन प्रोग्राम क्या कहते हैं ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग की, तो उसमें से एक प्रोग्राम ये भी है कि मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए इसको देख सकते हैं। ये बस मैं इतना ही कहना चाहता हूँ। शुक्रिया एक्सपीरियंस।
Thank you, delegate. Mr. KC Rao, your comment, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would just like to repeat that since day one, my party's stand with the ruling BJP government has been to remove this word all from the agenda, and that we from the first day wanted only fourth year and final years and the intern students to participate in this. So it has been clear since day one.
Great, delegate. Anything more to add to that?
Second thing about license of books in this clarification, whether these
delegate, you'll have to go on from the second point again. We missed it.
Regarding the unemployment figure, I just needed clarification whether these doctors that you consider are these proper medical graduates, that is MBBS graduate, or these are Ayush and Unani doctors, and are these doctors withheld because of their some examination? Third point, are these doctors being considered unemployed because they are having their own private practice? Because I think that should not come under unemployment. A doctor can still practice privately, and that should that should be Thank you. That's all.
Okay, delegate. Would you also send that comment through a chat via the EB, because there have been some technical issues.
Can I reply? Am I allowed to reply?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, firstly, I'd like to reply to Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi. See, as I have mentioned regarding the number of medical students who are unemployed, that was back in 2016. So, yeah, I agree with you that the numbers could have increased, the numbers could have decreased. But what I'm trying to state over here is, if you look at the numbers of students that are graduating every year, number of MBBS graduates, it is around 50,000, and only half of the students are getting MD seats. And there are many students who go to abroad to for further studies, and there are students who prepare, who are sitting idle at home, who are preparing for PG examinations, and students and MBBS graduates who are unemployed. So this also to answer Mr. KC Rao, that the doctors that I'm talking about are unemployed MBBS graduates. And regarding Ayush doctors and regarding other doctors, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem regarding including these doctors as a part of the medical training program. And however, I'm quite stern. I'm quite stern with the fact that we should definitely include these doctors who are unemployed, who can definitely play a major role in fighting this crisis.
Okay, delegate.
Thank you.
That's been noted. Your vice chair has an address to give you all. I'll hand it over to the vice chair now.
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. डेलीगेट्स, मैं आपसे कुछ कहना चाहता हूँ चिट्स के रिगार्ड्स में. चिट्स का क्या है कि कई लोगों ने पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर भेजा है. अब पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर जैसे कि मैंने समझाया था कि कोई फैक्चुअल एरर हो तो उसके साथ आपको लिखना है कि किस डेलीगेट ने क्या फैक्चुअल एरर किया, और उसके साथ आपको लिखना है कि सही बात क्या है, और उसके साथ आपको सोर्स मेंशन करना है. और ये जो सोर्स है, ये हमें कोई ऑथेंटिक सोर्स चाहिए, जैसे कि गवर्नमेंट की साइट हो सकती है या फिर कोई नेशनल न्यूज़पेपर हो सकता है. और आपको सोर्स मेंशन करना है. जब तक आप सोर्स मेंशन नहीं करेंगे, जब तक आपका सोर्स ऑथेंटिक नहीं होगा, तब तक वो पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर को हम कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे. हाँ, कुछ ऐसे नोन फैक्ट्स होते हैं जो बिल्कुल ही जाहिर हैं, उस तरह के फैक्ट्स में आपको सोर्स मेंशन करने की जरूरत नहीं है. लेकिन कोई ऐसा फैक्ट हो जो आपको लगे कि इसमें आप सोर्स मेंशन करने की जरूरत है, ज्यादातर फैक्ट्स में हमें चाहिए कि आप सोर्स मेंशन करें. तो पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर के साथ आपने अगर सोर्स मेंशन नहीं किया तो आपका पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर को हम दर्ज नहीं करेंगे. दूसरी चीज मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि ऑब्स्ट्रक्टिव चिट क्या होती है. अब देखिए, एक तो होती है सब्सटैंटिव चिट जिसके अंदर आपने अपना मुद्दा ढंग से एक्सप्लेन कर रखा है, आपने चीजें लिख रखी है जिसके ऊपर मैं आपको मार्क कर पाऊंगा। और ऑब्स्ट्रक्टिव चिट वो होती है कि फालतू की चिट भेज दी, बस चिट भेजने के नाम पे ऐसी चिट भेज दी। तो उस तरह की चिटों पे हम नेगेटिव मार्किंग भी करेंगे। हालांकि हाँ, मैं जितने नंबर दे रहा हूँ उससे कहीं ज्यादा कम, मतलब कहीं ज्यादा कम नंबर काट रहा हूँ, लेकिन ऐसी चिटें भी मेरे पास आ रही है जिनका कोई मुद्दा ही नहीं है, जिनका कोई रिलेशन ही नहीं है एजेंडा से। और आप जानते हैं कि किन्होंने भेजी है, बहुत सी चिटें आई हैं ऐसी, लेकिन मैंने नंबर हालांकि बहुत कम ही काटे हैं वैसी चिट्स के, लेकिन आप देखें कि जिस मुद्दे पे बात चल रही है उसी पे चिट आए। दूसरी चीज, क्योंकि हमारे पास वक्त कम है, तो जब ब्रेक होता है तो ब्रेक के दौरान मुझे चिट्स नहीं चाहिए। हाँ, ब्रेक के दौरान मैं चिटें फॉरवर्ड करूंगा, क्योंकि चिट का जो सिलसिला है वो थोड़ा आगे पीछे चलता है, क्योंकि मैं एक इंसान हूं यहाँ पे, आप 23 हैं, तो 23 लोग मुझे फॉरवर्ड कर रहे हैं चीजें। अब मैं उन्हें मार्क कर रहा हूँ, फिर मैं उन्हें फॉरवर्ड कर रहा हूँ, तो इसमें वक्त लग जाता है। कई दफे आपके मैसेजेस मुझे पहले ही आ गए कि मेरी चिट रिकॉग्नाइज हुई है, तो मैं आप तक पहुंच रहा हूँ। और अगर आपको आधे घंटे के दौरान ग्रीन टिक नहीं मिलता है, तब आप वो चीज लिखें। बट एनीवे, जो चिट है ब्रेक के दौरान कोई भी चिट का आप रिप्लाई नहीं करेंगे। कोई भी चिट, आपके पास चिटें जरूर आएंगी क्योंकि वो पिछले सेशन से कंटिन्यू हो रही हैं, चिटें आएंगी, आप उसका रिप्लाई लिख लें अपने पास, लेकिन सेशन शुरू होने के बाद ही उसको वापस रिप्लाई करें। और ब्रेक के दौरान अगर चिट आती है तो मैं उसे बिल्कुल भी दर्ज नहीं करूंगा, वो इनवैल्यूएबल जाएंगी। तो दैट इज इट, and I think the time has almost ended. We would be cutting short our session here, concluding our session here, I'm sorry, and we would be meeting after lunch. It is 2:40 right now. Do we have the speaker with us? Aris? Okay, I think he's not there, but we would be meeting around 3. Does anybody have the timetable? Shreya? Anybody with a timetable? I actually don't have it in mind.
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Can you check the timetable? When are we supposed to be joining back again?
We are supposed to be joining. Just a minute, I'll check.
Okay, let's keep it 3:05. Let's keep it 3:05. We will be meeting
Yeah, we have to join back at 3. We have to join back at 3 according to the schedule.
Okay. So let's keep it 3:05 so that we have a half an hour break. So we meet back at 3:05. Okay.